In this problem, we are being asked to find the total distance traveled by an object in centimeters if s of t is the position function, and we're focusing on the time interval from 1 to 3. So if s of t is the position function, then its derivative would be the velocity function, and the derivative of 6 sine pi t will be 6 pi cosine of pi t. And one thing that's important to notice is that if you were to look at the graph of the velocity of t on the interval from 1 to 3, it will roughly look something like this, which means there is a portion of time where the particle is moving to the left and a portion of time when the particle is moving to the right. So that's going to affect what happens if you don't consider that we're looking for total distance, and if you were to just integrate v of t as it stands, you would find net distance or displacement. So if we want to find the total distance traveled, we would need to integrate from 1 to 3 the absolute value of v of t. And I would encourage you, there's no reason not to use your calculator for something like this. So the notation you'll use in terms of the ti is if we put v of t in y1, so y1 set equal to 6 pi cosine pi t. In my calculator, I'm going to hit math and then choose option 9. So then my calculator screen will say function integrate, or something related to that depending on the model. I happen to use the TI-83, and I want to integrate not just y1 but the absolute value of y1. So to get absolute value, so your screen will say ABS when you're done, is you need to hit math, scroll one option to the right. So to get ABS, let me write it down for you as well. It's math, scroll one right. So scroll one to the right, and then option 1 will be ABS. And then you want to choose Y1. And if you're not familiar with where Y1 is, so this gets you ABS. To get to Y1, you hit the vars button, which is right below the arrows. Slide 1 to the right, so you're on Y vars, and then choose option 1, function, and then choose option 1 again to get Y1. So your screen should say function integrate the absolute value of Y1. Then we type a comma, and we'd like to integrate with respect to x, because that'll be the variable that we'll have for y1. And we want to integrate it from 1 to 3. Close parentheses, and now hit enter. And your calculator will do a little bit of work, and you end up with 24 centimeters. And just a note, so let's say this is the kind of question that's on the AP exam, and it's the calculator section of the question, right? So it's the exact same question, and it's the calculator portion. The expectation would be that your work would say the integral from 1 to 3, and you might have the absolute value of 6 pi cosine of pi t dt. So again, the scenario is, this is a question that's actually on the AP exam, and it's the calculator portion. You're allowed to use your calculator. So you've set up your integral, and the expectation is you've done the entire integral in your calculator. So the next piece of your work would simply be 24 centimeters. And so you really need to be fluent in both using your calculator as far as taking integrals and doing them by hand. And so you ought to practice both.